Imagine standing before an audience at the culmination of a life spent exploring profound questions of existence, knowing it's your final address. You're 90 years old, battling terminal cancer, and facing the end of your earthly journey. How would you feel in that moment? What would you say? This was the reality for Jiddu Krishnamurti, the revered Indian philosopher and spiritual teacher. Over 6 decades, he traveled the world, sharing his insights on freedom, love, and inner peace. When it came time for his final public appearance, Krishnamurti offered a message that not only shocked his audience but left an indelible mark on those who heard it. What could a dying man possibly say that would resonate so deeply with people across generations? His secret, revealed in that final address, is both startlingly simple and profoundly challenging. I don't mind what happens. Let us delve into Krishnamurti's life, his final lesson, and what it truly means to embrace the philosophy of not caring in a world obsessed with control and outcomes. Krishnamurti's presence during his final speech was captivating. Unlike many others, his teachings weren't about offering solutions or self-help mantras. He never claimed to be a savior or an expert. Instead, he referred to himself simply as the speaker. Even at 90, his mind remained razor-sharp, his words cutting through the noise like a blade. In a world where spiritual teachers often promise transcendence or enlightenment, Krishnamurti stood apart. He didn't preach from a pedestal but spoke as someone deeply grounded in reality. He wasn't interested in being understood or accepted. Instead, he stayed true to his core principle, that liberation begins with the individual. His final revelation, "I don't mind what happens," was met with silence from the audience. What did he mean? Was it apathy, a rejection of life? Far from it. It was a declaration of absolute freedom, freedom from expectations, resistance, and attachment. This philosophy of not minding isn't unique to Krishnamurti. It finds echoes in ancient traditions. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Love the hand that fate deals you and play it as your own." The Bhagavad Gita advises detachment from the fruits of one's actions, urging individuals to focus on duty without concern for success or failure. Krishnamurti, however, offered a modern interpretation of these timeless ideas. He believed that the root of human suffering lies in our incessant need to control outcomes. From a young age, society conditions us to chase external markers of success: grades, jobs, relationships, and wealth. These pursuits, while seemingly meaningful, often leave us disappointed when reality doesn't align with our expectations. For Krishnamurti, freedom comes from letting go of these attachments. His philosophy wasn't about indifference, but about embracing life without resistance. It's a paradox. By not caring, we open ourselves to experiencing life more fully. To understand Krishnamurti's perspective, it helps to examine his life. Born in 1895 in British India, he was identified at a young age by the Theosophical Society as a potential world teacher. However, in 1929, he famously dissolved the organization built around him, rejecting the very idea of being a guru. "Truth is a pathless land," he declared, emphasizing that no individual or institution could lead another to enlightenment. From that point on, Krishnamurti dedicated his life to helping others understand their own minds. His teachings focused on the nature of thought, fear, and conditioning. He believed that true freedom comes not from external change, but from inner transformation. This is why he rejected hierarchies of teacher and student, insisting that we are all simultaneously learners and guides. One of Krishnamurti's core critiques was of humanity's obsession with expectations. He argued that our constant striving for a perfect future is the source of much of our unhappiness. From an early age, we are conditioned to chase a linear narrative of success. Excel in school, gain admission to a prestigious university, secure a well-paying job, and build a life of material comfort. This path promises happiness and fulfillment, yet for many, even after achieving these milestones, a sense of emptiness persists. Why does happiness remain elusive? Krishnamurti argued that this discontent arises because happiness is not an external prize to be won, but an intrinsic state accessible only in the present moment. When we tie our well-being to the outcomes of our efforts, we subject ourselves to a constant cycle of desire and disappointment. The greater the gap between what we expect and what reality delivers, the deeper our suffering. This relentless pursuit of future rewards often blinds us to the value of the journey itself. By focusing solely on the destination, we lose sight of the present, where true contentment resides. Krishnamurti's solution was as revolutionary as it was simple. Abandon attachment to outcomes. Engage in actions not for their results, but for their intrinsic value. Authenticity and integrity in our efforts, rather than external validation, become the true measure of success. This mindset liberates us from the burdens of fear and failure. When we act with clarity and purpose, free from the shackles of expectation, we discover a profound freedom, a freedom to live fully in the here and now. At first glance, the philosophy of detachment, as advocated by Jiddu Krishnamurti, might appear as resignation or even apathy. The question naturally arises, if outcomes don't matter, why should we act at all? This, however, is a fundamental misunderstanding of his message. Detachment isn't about passivity, it's about freedom. To not care about outcomes doesn't mean we stop taking action. Instead, it means we act without the mental clutter of fear, doubt, or excessive control. When we let go of the need for specific results, our actions become purer and more aligned with our values and intentions. Rather than being driven by the desire to manipulate the world to fit our expectations, we act as authentic expressions of ourselves. This principle finds a perfect metaphor in the nature of water. Water, soft and yielding, may seem insignificant compared to the solid, unyielding nature of rocks. Yet over time, its adaptability and persistence carve through the hardest stone. Water doesn't resist obstacles, it flows around them, embracing its path with effortless power. Similarly, surrendering to life's uncertainties doesn't make us weak, it makes us resilient. By surrendering, we embrace life as it is, not as we wish it to be. This acceptance doesn't mean inaction, but a shift in perspective. We act with clarity and purpose, untethered by the fear of failure or obsession with success. This surrender empowers us to face challenges with a calm and steady mind, finding strength in our adaptability and flow. Jiddu Krishnamurti's teachings have taken on a renewed significance in the modern era, where rapid advancements in technology are reshaping the fabric of society. With machines increasingly automating tasks once reserved for humans, many are left grappling with questions about purpose and identity. If work as we know it ceases to define us, what remains of our humanity? Krishnamurti's philosophy offers a profound response to these existential dilemmas. In a world that often prioritizes efficiency, productivity, and material accumulation, he emphasized the importance of love, self-awareness, and authentic living. These qualities, unconditional love, empathy, and the ability to connect deeply with others, are uniquely human traits that no machine can replicate. Krishnamurti argued that the ultimate purpose of life isn't found in external achievements, but in cultivating an inner richness that allows us to truly serve others. As he beautifully stated, "You must serve the world because you love it and cannot help but serve it." This service is not about obligation, but arises naturally from a heart free of self-interest and filled with compassion. As technology continues to evolve, the challenge for humanity will be to shift its focus inward. Instead of competing with machines on efficiency, we can lean into what makes us irreplaceable: our ability to love, to understand, and to act from a place of genuine care. In doing so, we not only redefine the purpose of being human, but also ensure a future where humanity thrives, not through machines, but through its shared humanity. At the core of Jiddu Krishnamurti's philosophy of not caring lies a profound invitation to reclaim our freedom, the freedom to live authentically, unshackled by the conditions we place on our happiness. Too often, we tether our sense of well-being to external circumstances, telling ourselves, "I'll be happy when." This conditional mindset creates a perpetual chase, leaving us trapped in a cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. Krishnamurti's insight was revolutionary. Happiness and peace aren't waiting in some distant future or external achievement. They are already within us, accessible in the present moment. The barriers to this realization are our own expectations and need for control. By constantly trying to mold life to fit our desires, we resist its natural flow and amplify our suffering. Letting go of this need for control is not easy. It requires confronting our deepest fears: fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, and fear of letting go. But Krishnamurti's philosophy reminds us that true freedom lies on the other side of these fears. When we stop outsourcing our happiness to the whims of external events, we discover a deep sense of contentment that no disappointment can diminish. This detachment doesn't mean passivity or indifference. Instead, it allows us to engage with life more fully, without the weight of expectation. Free from the burdens of outcome, we are liberated to act authentically, love unconditionally, and experience life as it is: dynamic, unpredictable, and profoundly beautiful. This is the essence of true freedom. Krishnamurti's final words challenge us to rethink how we approach life. To not mind what happens is to live with an open heart and an uncluttered mind. It's to act with integrity and love, without being weighed down by fear or desire. This isn't an easy path. It requires us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world. But as Krishnamurti demonstrated, it's a path to true freedom, a freedom that no external circumstance can take away. As you reflect on his teachings, ask yourself, what would it mean for you to not mind what happens? How might this philosophy transform the way you live, love, and act in the world?